Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am joining you a little bit early, like a minute early, so I wanted to get started today. I hope you had a nice weekend. Mine was hot here in Chicago. Let me know where you are joining me from. I am Carol C. Miller, your positive life strategist, peace activator, and global hugger, coming to you with another episode of Embrace Your Life Chat, where the intention is to heighten celebrations and lessen sorrows through a positive focus. So, again, let me know where you're joining me from in comments. Let me know if you are new to Positive Focus and these weekly chats where I am here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11:30 a.m. Chicago time, Central Standard Time. And a couple things I like to say before we get started in today's topic is one, I'm not an absolutist. I'm not a big fan of the words always, never, right, wrong, good, or bad. There's 7 billion people on this planet. I can't begin to say what is right for 7 billion people. So, what I do for my personal life and for the work that I do is to work on the majority of the time. 0 being always negative, 100 being always positive. So, I don't know anybody at the 0, and I don't know anybody at the 100. My personal work is to stay within the 80 to 100% of the time positive, kind, loving, compassionate, and peaceful. So, what does that mean? Well, for me, it means frustration, anger, disappointment, sadness, um, unworthiness, all of those feelings that we tend to have visit me, but because of the tools I use and the practices I keep, they visit, they don't move in. Now, 51% of the time makes you in the majority. What if you're at 40? What if you're at 30 or 20 or 70 or 80? It does not make you right or wrong or good or bad. It just means where you're at right now. How does it feel? And how do you want to feel moving forward? So, again, I'm not here to tell anybody that they're doing life right or wrong. It's what works for you. And I like to share what works for me and what works with my clients. So, I encourage you to give it a try if it sounds like something that would work for you, or let it go if it's not something that would work for you. Secondly, I am a coach. I love supporting people and living their best life, whatever that looks like. It looks different from you to me to the other people in the world. So, whatever that is, I love supporting people. So, you can hire me as a coach, show up here Tuesdays and Thursdays, and stay up to date on the Positive Focus page, know what's going on, or you might need to seek out support of a counselor or therapist, depending on what you're going through, because sometimes that type of support is going to help you live your best life, whatever it is, to create that best life for you and that support that you might need around you to create it. I encourage you to look into, because I know you're worthy of living your best life, whether it's me supporting you in that, a counselor, therapist supporting you in that, or you figuring it out on your own. I just know that you're worthy of it. So before we get into today's topic, I am going to stop into comments and say hello really quick, then go into the topics, and then go back to comments to see if there are any questions regarding today's topic. And I do like to have you give me suggestions on future topics to bring to the community. While you're only seeing me on the screen, this is a community chat. It's a community effort. So if there's something going on in your life or in the world that you would like me to bring a little bit more love, kindness, compassion, and peace to, put it in the comments. And if it's something that I think that I can add insight to, I will bring it up on another topic. But let me quickly say hello, and then we will dive into today's topic. Hello, Stacia and Cindy from South Africa, and Badur from Nepal, Liz from California. Hi, Dia. I know you're from Florida. That's one of the things I love the most about this community is we do have people from all over the world. We have different backgrounds. We might have different philosophies. We might have different religious beliefs, all sorts of different things that we may differ in. But the vast majority of us want to feel that we matter in this world. We want to feel safe. We want to be healthy. We want to feel that we are being part of the world and being, my words aren't coming to me this morning, being, helping the world be what we want it to be. And I'm pretty sure the vast majority of us want to live in a kinder, more loving, more compassionate, and peaceful world. So the work that I do is to help cultivate that internally so you're able to express it externally a little easier. And obviously, when things are hard, it is harder to be in that space, but it's still possible. So, welcome everyone. I think I got everyone's name here who is joining me today. So, I wanted to get into today's topic, and it's about pause. When things are going well, it's really easy to keep in that momentum and be excited about what's happening and step into gratitude very easily when things are going well. But what happens in those times where fear is visiting us more than we want it to? And maybe frustration, maybe it's anger, maybe it's sadness. What do we do in times like that? So I want to discuss pausing when we feel those moments come up. They're going to come up. They come up with me. Like I said, my intent and my practice is to stay in positivity, love, kindness, compassion, and peace 80 to 100% of the time. And I'm pretty good at that. Doesn't mean fear, frustration, and anger don't visit me, because they do. But my practice is to feel what I need to feel and move forward to feel a little bit better. And there's different ways that I go about doing that. So that's kind of what I share here. So if you're new to me in these conversations, I pick a word, define the word, come up with an affirmation, and then some tips around it. So the word we're working with today is to pause. And the definition, okay, guess what? This is not going to work very well. There we go. I had to reboot my computer just before I went live, and it looked like it removed my notes, but it did not. So pause. Pause is interrupt action or speech briefly. Again, the definition is to interrupt action or speech briefly. It's to take a pause. It's to take a breath. It's to recenter yourself so you can move forward exactly the way you were going, or you can change direction and shift into where you want to go. So it's about pausing for the moment. It's about regaining yourself and being in control of your feelings rather than allowing your feelings to control you. So the affirmation we're going to work on today is a little different than what I normally do, where I come up with one affirmation. But I'm going to ask you guys, Liz, yes, the Texas shooting. That is one of the things that has caused this conversation today, is to remember when things are awful and tragedy happens, whether it's in our personal lives or whether it's in our community or nationally or globally, and we get into that space of staying stuck in that fear, we're feeding that fear rather than looking how we can move forward to feeling a little bit better, coming up with proactive, positive, and peaceful solutions. So the affirmation I want you guys to consider today is an affirmation. If you're new, again, it's just a statement. It's not positive or negative. It's just a statement you make about yourself or something. When you're affirming the world is a violent place, then you are affirming that and you're giving that energy to grow. When you're affirming the world is a peaceful place, you are feeding that energy for it to grow. However, the caveat is, I'm pretty sure all of you would agree, I use the word all, the vast majority of you would agree that if just the statement, the world is a peaceful place, without looking for examples, just the statement alone, that's a positive statement. However, if I say the world is a peaceful place and immediately in my head I go to Texas, or I go to Ukraine, or I go to a variety of different places all over the world that right now is struggling, then that positive statement is not positive for me. So I want you to pay attention when you choose your affirmation to use that it is a growth. It can be a growth place. You don't have to be there right now, but it can't be so far out that you immediately negate it. So you could try, I'm in the process of believing the world is a peaceful place, and work from there. But I really want you to keep in mind the affirmation you're using is to affirm who you want to be and how you want to show up in the world. So if it's too big, like maybe I don't know of many people who don't want to believe that statement, but if it's that too far out for you, it's not going to be effective. So I encourage you to come up with a statement for you to use in your personal life when you're feeling that need to pause. That's what we're working on today, is pausing when those emotions of feeling unworthy, when those emotions of anger, when those emotions of anything that has us feeling less than pop up, which they will, these are the tips that I want you to work on to be able to bring yourself back to center. And then you get to decide if you want to stay angry, or if you want to stay sad, or if you want to stay wherever you're at. When you're aware of it, then you get to make that decision. Or if you want to take small steps forward to feel a little bit better. So the affirmations we're going to work on today, I want you guys to think about it in your own personal lives. Hi, Patricia. Welcome from Edmonton, Canada. Hello, Anna. Good to see you here. Ricky, hello. So whatever has any of you feeling you're less than your best, and I don't know of anybody who doesn't feel that at some point in probably in every day, but whatever's right now has you focus on lack, has you focus on tragedy, has you focus on injustice, has you focus on sadness, any of those things. I want you to focus on what that affirmation should be for you. So it's going to be an I am, and it's going to be like, I am loved. I am love. Maybe it's I am peace, or I am peaceful. Maybe it's I am calm, or I am content. Come up with something that feels right for you. And if any of those don't feel right and you can't come up with the exact one to work for you, then I want you to be, I am in the process of feeling love. I'm in the process of feeling calm. I'm in the process of feeling content. I'm in the process of feeling peaceful. I want you to, we're wanting to take what our mind is telling us right now and replace it with something positive. So your mind might be telling you right now the world is not peaceful, and you're coming up with every example to show that that is true. And there are plenty of examples to show that it's true. There are also plenty of examples to show that there's a lot of love in the world. Doesn't get as much media attention, but there is that love to be seen in the world. So your affirmation is to replace those negative thoughts, those fearful thoughts, those thoughts that are keeping you where you are rather than where you want to go, and replacing them with something that's bringing you forward into who you truly are, but maybe not showing up as today because fear may have your attention. And I promise you, fear gets my attention. It's not because of my practices, it does not take over nearly as long as it might have in the past, but it still gets my attention. So that's when I go into these things. And one of mine is I choose peace. I choose peace. I choose peace. I am peace. Peace is a big one for me to use. Or I'll say I choose love. Any of those. I choose kindness. I choose compassion. Those are my top values that I work from. However, again, I cannot stress it enough. If you say I choose peace, and then you immediately think of something you did 15 minutes ago that wasn't peaceful, then you're negating that affirmation. So you might want it to be, I'm in the process of choosing peace. We're talking the majority of the time. I am not peaceful. I'm peaceful the majority of the time. I am not peaceful all the time. When I'm out of peace, it's usually in my thoughts. I'm very careful with my words and with my actions, but I do let my thoughts go into non-peaceful places. And that's the work that I do personally, is when those start showing up for me, then I go into, I choose peace. I am in the process of choosing peace if it really has a great hold on me that day. So we're paying attention to our thoughts, we're paying attention to our words that we use, and we're paying attention to our actions. If we want to live in a peaceful world, being non-peaceful is not bringing peace forward. If we want to live in a peaceful world and our thoughts are all about non-peace, we're not helping to bring it forward. It's not right or wrong, good or bad. It's who you are, what you want to be and show up in the world, and where you want to go in the world. So let me know which one of those. I choose peace and compassion and love. I love that, Liz. And I would encourage you, especially when fear is grabbing your attention. I have been doing this work for many, many years now. And when global tragedy, national tragedies happen, that's when fear grabs my attention the most. And that's when I go back into doubling down on my practices of doing my intentions, rather than letting that situation take me into places that are not helpful. Anger can be a catalyst to change. And yet a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people use anger to stay stuck. They stay in blame, shame, and complain mode rather than feeling what they need to feel and move forward and channeling that anger into positive, compassionate solutions. Anger is not wrong. Anger is not bad. Sadness is not wrong. Sadness is not bad. Fear isn't wrong or bad. It's how long do you want to stay there? How much energy and time and attention do you want to give them? How do you feel when you're angry? How do you feel when you're sad? How do you feel when you're fearful or frustrated? And it's about channeling that, feeling it, don't stuff it, feel what you need to feel, and then ask yourself, who do I want to be right now? How do I want to show up in this world? And what do I want to do to move forward to be that in this world? So let me know some of your, what you're choosing for your affirmations. And then the tips are, if you joined me before, the first one is almost always, but not every time, is be aware of how you feel and feel your feels. So if you're feeling angry, you're feeling sad, you're feeling disappointed, maybe you're feeling happy and joyful in this now moment. It's okay wherever you're at. It is a feeling to be expressed. It wants to be acknowledged. It's something that's scared inside of you. And when we pretend it's not there, it usually comes back some other point where you're not even aware, and bam, it's there again. So acknowledge your feelings and feel what you need to do. But ask yourself, how long do I want to stay here? And sometimes our feelings are so strong and heavy that's when it's important to get support of a coach or support of a counselor for you to move through them. Life isn't meant to be a solo journey for the majority of us. So it is okay to seek support in getting that help to move out of those stuck emotions that can easily overwhelm and take over us if we allow them to. So feel what you need to feel. And then this next thing is I let go of all negative fears and feelings. Liz, I love that. However, I would encourage you not to use the all. Negativity isn't wrong or bad. It's how much time and energy do you want to give to it. Fear isn't wrong or bad. It's how much time do you want to give to it. Sometimes our fear tells us now is not the time to cross the street and somebody runs a red light. So there's things to know that fear can be supportive of you too, and negativity, I don't know. Pretty sure negativity is not going to go away for anyone. It's how much time, energy, and attention that you give it. So I would just encourage everyone to pay attention to the absolute words that they use. Now, I'm word sensitive, so I do pay attention to those things. Other people, that might not matter to them, so it needs to be what feels right for you. So the next one is I want you to do is whenever you're feeling anything less than your best, I want you to pause. So we're going to be aware of how we're feeling, and this exercise is going to help us be aware of it. So you're aware that you're angry about Texas, or you're aware that you're feeling unworthy about a job that you're in, or you're aware that you're lonely. Whatever it is that you're aware of in this moment, I want you to put your hand on your heart. I want you to take some deep breaths, because when we're in a space of fear, when we're in a space of anything less than, we tend to constrict our breathing, which does not give us the oxygen we need to feel better, to make better decisions for ourselves. So hand on your heart and just take some deep breaths. And I want you to feel your heart and feel that you're doing those deep breaths. Then I want you to repeat your affirmation, whatever that affirmation is that you've chosen. So I am worthy. I am peaceful. I am loved. I am calm. I am content. I'm in the process of feeling worthy. I'm in the process of being peaceful. I'm in the process of feeling calm or content. Say that to yourself and keep saying that until you're calmed yourself down. Your pause might be 30 seconds. Your pause might be 5 minutes. It depends on what you're feeling in your body in that moment. And your pause may not immediately work because you're so worked up about something. Again, it's not about beating yourself up over your feelings. It's about recentering and bringing yourself back to your truth. And your inner truth is calm. Your inner truth is love, is kindness, is peace, and is compassion. So it's the outer world telling us we can't be that because the outer world is in trouble. So it's about going back within and bringing that back into your own body. So hand on heart, deep breathing. affirm whatever you're needing to affirm in this moment. I would encourage you, you can do this practice as many times. Like you start feeling anxious, hand on heart, deep breathing, affirm what you need to affirm. And that would be probably, again, it needs to be what works for you. But if you're in an anxious moment, I would affirm, I am calm, or I am in the process of feeling calm. I deserve to feel calm. I am worthy of calmness. Those are two big ones that I use a lot as well. I am worthy of, I deserve of, I am of. So keep thinking about the affirmation for yourself. Hand on heart, deep breathing, as many times. I would say at least 3 to 5 times. Then repeat your affirmation 3, 5, 10 times. And then I want you to step into gratitude. Once you've calmed yourself down a little bit, I want you to step into gratitude. And the gratitude might be this practice is working. The gratitude might be you're able to see, I don't want to say the benefit out of tragedy, because for me it's an and, it's not a this or that, it's a tragedy and good. You might start feeling the gratitude for the helpers in Texas, or the helpers in your life, whatever might be going on for you. You might step into gratitude that you're breathing on your own today. Your heart is beating. I don't have to tell my body to breathe. I don't have to tell my body for its heart to beat. It just does that. It might be if you're in a medical situation that you're grateful for modern medicine that helps you breathe, that helps your heart beat. But there's still so many things we can be grateful for, even when we're dealing with really hard topics, or hard situations in our own life. So again, be aware of how you feel. First thing, when we're on autopilot, life is living us. We are not living life. 2, when you feel anything that has you less than, then I want you to do these steps. Hand on heart, deep breathing, say your affirmation. Your affirmations can change. One time you're pausing, it might be about peace. The next time you're pausing, it might be about calm. The next time you're pausing, it might be about worthiness. Whatever it is that you need to step back into your body to feel, go into that. When you're in anxiety, it might be that you're breathing in calm. You're breathing in that you deserve to feel better. So take those steps, and then lastly, step into gratitude. I guess actually, lastly, is to be gentle with yourself through the process. When fear has a hold of you and it's gripped you tight, these practices might be hard to step into, but they are possible. So the more you're gentle with yourself through anything, through the celebrations in your life, through the sorrows in your life, the less likely, when you're gentle with yourself, the less likely you're feeding the energy of whatever you don't like. When you're gentle with yourself, you're feeding the energy of love. When you're gentle with yourself, you're feeding the energy of kindness, compassion, and peace. So don't beat yourself up when you're feeding the energy of what you don't want in your life and in the world. It's going to happen. But when you're aware that you're feeding that instead of what you want, that's when you bring yourself back into power. That's when you step into, this doesn't feel good. How do I want to feel? And move forward from there. It's not always easy, especially if something really hard is happening, but it is possible. So those are the tips for you today. Again, the word is pause, and it's to interrupt action or speech briefly. So if you even think about sometime you may have said something hurtful to somebody, and often when we do that, we later think, I wish I wouldn't have said that. Not everybody, but often that's the case. If you pause before you speak, especially if you're coming from hurt, you're probably not going to say something that you wish you could take back. If you pause instead of beating yourself up, which is probably far more likely than saying mean things to others, you're probably going to step into a little compassion for yourself and remind yourself you're doing the best you can with what you have in this moment. So that's what we have for you today. Let me see here. I choose peace and compassion. Everyone will lead a comfortable. This is possible. Shatin, this is really long, so I will take a look at it later. But thank you for that. I'm in the process of Liz. Yes, absolutely. That is a powerful one to use. If your affirmation, you say it and you immediately negate it. If you immediately negate it, even if it's a positive statement, it's not positive for you. So you either want to change it completely or you want to go into the I'm in the process of. Another tool I like with the affirmations is to say, I am deserving of peace. I am worthy of peace. I am peace. I am deserving of love. I am worthy of love. I am love. I am deserving of calm. I am worthy of calm. I am calm. So it's about reminding yourself that you are deserving and worthy of feeling good for yourself. And the more that you feel good for yourself, the easier it is to spread that for others. I am a big believer that if people felt seen and heard and knew they matter in this world, they would be far less likely to harm themselves or others. So that is what I choose, calm and peace. I love that, Patricia. I'm working on self. It is so hard. Jim, I totally understand. I have been doing this work for years, and I think that that is one of the things that I really want to get across to people is, yes, there are mean people out in the world, and there are people doing mean things to others daily. However, most of us are meaner to ourselves than we are to others. Our self-talk is generally putting ourselves down, of unworthiness, of all sorts of things. So when we're aware of it and we course correct into feeling a little bit better, takes practice. I've been practicing for this for years, and it does not mean that I don't still beat myself up. Probably on a daily basis, unconsciously I do. Consciously I catch it and I switch it into being gentle with myself again. But I totally understand it is hard, and you are worthy of the work. You are deserving of the work to feel better. So I encourage you to take those steps today. And as you practice it, I promise you, especially the awareness part, when you start being aware of your thoughts and your words that you're using and the actions that you're taking, you're going to be, whoa. I encourage a lot of my clients when I first start with them for 1 week. I don't want you to put yourself down for your thoughts. I don't want you to say, yay, me. I just want you to observe your thoughts, words, and actions for a week and see how many of them are positive versus negative. I don't remember the studies, but the studies show that we have more negative thoughts than positive thoughts. And it's kind of a self-protection mechanism. So once you're aware of it, then pat yourself on the back because now you're aware. Once you're aware, you're back in the driver's seat of being able to change. Does not mean that change is easy or quick, but it does mean that you have the capacity. Well, you already have the capacity. Now you're aware that you have the capacity to make those changes for yourself. So that is what I have for you today. You are so welcome, Dia. Thank you for coming. And I don't see I'm in the process of, yes. I don't see any specific questions here. Or let's see. I'm glad I caught you today. Been a while. Yeah, Anna, again, divorce. I think divorce, even for people who have consciously made that choice, it's still hard. And when you're in a divorce situation where you're not on the same page with your partner that you are divorcing, it's even harder. So that is not my expertise. Divorce is not my expertise. I will support you through it in love, kindness, compassion, and peace. But I do encourage you to find that support that is going to help you with the actual divorce process itself. So I don't see anything else, so I'm going to love and leave you for today. I did want to say Thursday, I usually am here Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11:30 Chicago time. This Thursday, I have a meeting at 11 a.m., and I'm 95% sure it will run late. So I'm going to try for noon, but it might be more like 12:15. I will post the link before to show you what time it's going to be, but I will 95% sure not be here at 11:30 on Thursday because of that meeting. Hello, Gloria. Glad to have you here. So I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to love and leave you. And just remember that you deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel your best. You're worthy of feeling your best, and you are your best. Just small steps forward. When we look at the big picture of where we want to go, sometimes it's so overwhelming that we don't take that little step because the big picture is too big for us. That's why we'll want to break it down into small steps forward to feel a little bit better. Yes, selfless love for all. Thank you. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Jatin. But I think that's the first time I've seen you here. So thank you for being here. Thank you all for being here, whether it's your first time, you've been with me for a long time. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm grateful for you to be able to share a little time of love, kindness, compassion, and peace. So go out there and have a peaceful day. Pause as many times as you need to bring yourself back to you. Take care of yourselves and remember, you matter. You matter to me, you matter to the world, and most importantly, you matter to you. We'll talk again soon. Thursday, just not quite sure what time. It will be after 11:30 a.m. Chicago time. Talk to you soon. So long for now.